Good morning. Hand today's going to be Pocket Kings. This is a 10 NL game, full ring, old Samay, open raise. Pretty easy open raise range. EP2. I do have those. The range is supposed to include those. I do not typically raise with them. That is something that I'm working on, but at this time, when the hand was played, I don't think they were in my range yet. Alright, cutoff calls, and that's it. Cutoff's played 19-2. We've got about 200 hands on him. Note-wise, we've got a 3-bet range. We've seen aces. We can look at his 3-bet stat, basically just the one that had to be the aces. VPIP seems to get more as he gets into position. 30% cutoff. Note, he's played 7 hands in the cutoff, 5 hands he raised first in, which means he's possibly called. Let's see this. I called one hand. Then the other one, we don't have a limp. They set a 3-bet. Maybe he isolated it. ISO raise. That's the other one. I don't think I have an ISO raise stat in here. I don't think it's probably super useful. Just a small number of people. Maybe I'll have to add it. But anyways, you can see that he's not overly tight. So I put a range like this. I think pocket pairs, generally, players are going to be calling with it. Maybe not all of them. We'll say like the low pocket pairs, he could just call. I think 3-bets are queens plus ace king gonna be standard, even though we've only just seen aces. I think we've got our calls with the big aces, and I think we're gonna be good. So that's 10% range, 10.5% range. So he calls. We see a flop of ace jack 9, all diamonds. Not the greatest of flops. I do have a diamond, so that's that helps. But in terms of the king, I think we're going to be up against aces decent part of the time. So just looking at this top pair, you can see 13% of the time he'll have top pair. If we get rid of all this, top pair plus, you're looking at 30% of the time. If we think about draws, they're going to be calling. So if he goes with all of his diamond draws, so top pair plus with all of the diamond draws, you're looking at 52%. If we add in straight draws, open-ended straight draws, basically 54%, 55%. So not the greatest in terms of getting folds, not the greatest. I wouldn't even say it's the greatest in terms of getting paid off, because even if a diamond comes, it's going to be hard to get paid off by some of these hands. So it's on us. What do we do? Let's go ahead and put together our draws. And gut shots at it. I think nut flush and second nut flush are gonna be bets. I mean, those are all just like somewhat value hand. Same thing. Those are all just gonna be somewhat of a value hand that are already gonna be betting. The exception would be the king, the queens. Make sure we've got, all right. So that's 16%. We're looking at like an 8% raise, which is going to give us like 24% C bet. Possibly need a little bit more than that. So in terms of the week, that's maybe we bet like 6s and 7s. as well. We'll leave our, top pair hands. I'm not sure if we bet with all of these. Kind of think ace four, ace fives are going to be checks. Ace king value. I think maybe ace queen could be somewhat of a check, especially if we don't have your diamonds. Two pair are most likely bets. Sets. We have an ace. I think it's gonna, the ace. You don't have like ace king, ace queen. That sort of, you really reduce that. So I think maybe aces could be checks here. Nines and jacks go for value from aces. I think the flushes probably go for bets. So that's 29% for value, and that's going to still be a little too much because we do have some of these pocket pair less than the top cards. Those are going to be your value hands. And I don't know why that didn't. Oh, because those were just the flush draws. Got it. Same here. Okay, let's see if we can get a few more. Maybe we're not betting all of them here. To some of the ace kings. Kind of leaving them in as a check. That's looking better. We're getting down to where we need to be. Yes, those are just one combos. One combo. All right, we'll leave it at there. We're not perfectly balanced, but I think that's it. I think that's where we bet. So yeah, I don't mind betting here. I do think we're going to be getting called a decent percentage of the time. I think the top pairs are all going to call. I think flush draws are going to be calling at least. These flush draws are going to be calling. I'm not sure about open enders. Kind of think the middle pairs are probably just gonna. We'll have them call because the C bet fold to C bet stat is 33%, and that's in position. So we'll do that. All right, so he calls 48%. Four clubs comes out. I think we can continue. I think if we bet, we're gonna really just kind of represent that we have something. But at the same time, I think we're not really betting this for value. We're betting it as a semi bluff. I think that's what we're going to be looking at. So I think here we're still going to be betting our second and our third, or our nut and our weaker nut flush. And then I think that's it. That's probably your 19%. I think in terms of your top pair, you're going to be betting them. If you get rid of these, So if we're betting our flushes still for value, yeah, your sets, your two pair, I think you still go for value. I think our top pair, ace king, ace queen, if we don't have a diamond, I think there's a good chance the villain might have the diamond. I think betting top pair is gonna really push us over. So I think ace queens are probably gonna be checks. We say third for those, and then 2/3 for ace king. And really, it's going to be hard for us to balance. I mean, it really is. In terms of the percentages, like, are we actually doing it 2/3 or whatever? So we bet villain calls. I think at this point it's going to be top pair plus, which is most of his hands. So it kind of makes me think that I'm betting too much. We'll check with GTO. All right, six clubs comes out. And once it comes out, I think we go for value a little bit. I think ace queen, ace king are probably going to be like check calls. I think two pairs probably going to be check call. I think sets are going to be bet. I think we're going to be sets plus here. And then in terms of draws, we don't really have much draws or bluffs. Those bluffs would be like your king queen. Sometimes bet them. Right, sometimes bet him here. Just kind of get him as balanced. I checked, which I think is probably appropriate. I think we're behind. I think we're going to be shown an ace or better a large percentage of the time. So it goes check, check. He didn't bet, so that to me suggests that he doesn't have the flush. I think the flush is going to be betting here. We know he doesn't have the nut flush, he doesn't have the nut flush because I have the king of diamonds. But he could have the weaker diamond. So I show kings. He shows ace queen with the queen of diamonds. Yeah, he's not folding. He's got the ace. I mean, that's definitely in his range. So it is what it is. So I think what we're gonna do is probably go back and we'll get some GTO. Get this set up and see what GTO says. All right, so I set it all up, got it all going. Let's run it and we'll be back. All right. Ran a whole lot faster than I expected. All right, so I set up two raise sizes. I did a third pot and 2/3 pot. And it looks like the larger size, we are not betting that at all. It looks like smaller size, we're betting 34%. So I think that's more than what we had, but it was kind of along the line what I was thinking. What we're seeing is that it really is kind of mixed a lot. There's really nothing, no hand that really says we're definitely going to be betting this 100%. So like even kings here, it looks like we're betting a little bit more often when we have that king of diamonds, but a little bit more with the queen of diamonds, but even our flush draws are not 100% here. So I think that's probably a consequence of the draws or lack thereof in our range to balance the value hands, and even some of our value hands aren't going to necessarily be value anymore. Like a top pair could already be beat. The top pair, two pair, three of a kind could already be beat. So that's kind of interesting. So let's go ahead and do the bet because that's kind of what we did. And then villain's going to be calling. Looks like he's raising just a little bit, but for the most part he's calling. And that was a 4 of clubs. All right, so once he calls, then it looks like we are checking most of the time. I mean, we still have a small bet with King of Diamonds, but same situation. It doesn't look like any hands are really looking to bet most of the time, or bet 90% plus. Sets are favored 2 to 1 probably. Flushes not really. The top pair gets some bets. Ace king, ace queen. So yeah, ace queen sometimes bet, ace queen we sometimes bet even less. I think we're kind of onto that, but again, we're betting 50% pot about 30% of the time. So it looks like we could have done this, but really it looks like GTO is suggesting we just go ahead and check our kings. It's a 6 of clubs. Yeah, and then even if we have it's checking this. We're betting sets, some of our sets, so that's about 2/3. Yeah, 2 to 1, or almost 2 to 1. And then flush, we're betting a little bit. So yeah, we could say we were kind of fitting with it. Let's see what happens if we check. I think checking might be a little bit better here. So we check, villain bets. Which I kind of expect him to bet. And I think I would have probably gone check call, which would have been the appropriate play. Note that it's check fold if we do not have that king of diamond. And I think the same thing with the queen of diamonds for the most part. It's check fold when you have the queens. With all of these pocket pairs, looks like if you don't have the diamond, just go ahead and check fold it. We do have some check raise that we can make. Okay, so if we check call, then we're checking 100%. I would have done that. And let's say he bets again with queen of diamonds. Looks like we are calling again. Right, and then check again. And if he bets, do we call? No, we're not calling. And at that point, if he bets, yeah, he could easily bet 2 streets, but the 3rd street, if he bets again, I don't know if I could call with kings. I think at that point, he's representing the ace. So really, about no matter what we do, I think we're probably losing about the same. If this guy's going to be aggressive and bets after we check. But I think it's probably a little bit better in the same to go ahead and check, plan a check call on the flop, and then on the turn, that might be a little bit better than go ahead and leading. All right, so hopefully you enjoy the hand. We lost it, didn't pick up the diamond. I think if we pick up the diamond, we're going to get paid even more. I think we're kind of setting it up. We've set it up to where a diamond comes. We've gone small. We've gone 50%. Now we can go pot size bet with the king of diamonds. Queen of diamonds definitely is going to call. Is he going to shove over us? That's a good question. We hope he does, but if he doesn't, he doesn't. There's nothing we could do. We were building the pot and we caught our draw. All right, so hopefully you enjoy this hand. If you do, you can look tomorrow for another one.